Now he's saying get out of crypto. Jeez, this is like a clown show. Should you get out of crypto? We're going to find out today.
I ain't gonna give in now. I think gonna live this now. I ain't gonna be when I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it to town, cause I gotta be that king in their ring when I'm knocking them out when I'm back with the will. Cause I am just up on the journey. You just know that I'm just going insane.
Warriors, rise. Grand rising and good evening, warriors all over the world. Excited to be with you guys on this amazing Tuesday in 2023. What a beautiful, beautiful day to be alive. My name is Coach JB. I am the top health, mindset, crypto, and business coach in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do or see gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. In today's video, we're going to dive into one of these talking heads screaming at the top of their lungs to get out of crypto. We're going to talk about should you not, why not? But I'm very, very excited and honored. We are 24 hours away, just 24 hours away from the launch of Xroyalty, a year in the making. This is my own project from my company, an extension of the 3T Warrior Academy. So if you go to xroyalty.com, it launches in 1 day, 15 hours, and 6 minutes on XRPL. We're going to revolutionize how companies go into the metaverse, how people communicate. And a little hint there, if you can see this NFT here, there's some gamification in there as well. So check out the project. We're going to show companies how to revolutionize. And also, if you want to get into the 3T Warrior Academy, many people have asked, we're offering it for 7 days for free to try out. Description down below to check it out. All right, so let's dive right into it. So first, I want to take you guys through some macro and microeconomics, if you don't mind. I don't want to be a YouTuber that's just shouting from the mountaintops, you're going to get rich in crypto. Do all. I want to provide some financial education based on the 8 to 9 hours a day of research I do and working harder on myself than I do anything else in this sector to make sure that I'm providing a safe space for people to make informed decisions. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I share with you is not financial advice, and I may get some things wrong. But I've been very right on a lot of things, and exactly what's happening right now is what I've been saying for 2 years. But I want to take you back to talk a little bit about money, okay? The M2 Money Report. I used to use this report quite heavily in 2020 as they were printing money into oblivion. But I'm going to show with you guys the money flows of what's happening, the interest rates, and talk to you about a debt cycle, okay? So right now, America is sitting at 124% GDP to debt ratio. So if America was a person walking in to buy a car, they'd be not denied for the car. They have more debt. We have more debt than we do gross domestic product. The fact is 33% of America's debt is held outside of the US. So that's something that's interesting. And also America has the most debt outside of their country. So we're at 124% debt to income ratio, okay? We have most of our debt, 33% of our debt held outside, okay? We printed more money than in history in the last 24 months and specifically since Bitcoin's inception. We're in the 50-year jubilee. We're at 51 years, which usually in the Bible, it states in the Bible, and I think it's the New Testament, it says about every 50 years, there's a debt reset. So we're at 51 years in like 7 days, okay? So we're at a 50 years since 1971 when we detached from the gold standard, okay? The gold standard detachment created a fiat currency, which is fake money. So they were able to print money into oblivion and created a debt-based society. Now, with a debt-based society, it can work very, very well if there's great policymakers and there's no greed involved. But we know that's not how it works. Wherever there's money, there's greed, right? And that's what we're experiencing. We're experiencing the love of power right now. So right now, as we sit, we're in a massive, massive debt bubble. All the companies are over leveraged, crypto companies are over leveraged, banks are over leveraged, people are over leveraged, and we're in this dangerous, dangerous position. Okay, so there's 4 ways that you can change it based on Ray Dalio's book, The Big Debt Crisis. Okay, number 1 is you can spend less. They're not going to spend less. Number 2 is you can transfer the debt from the people who have it to the people who need it. They're not going to do that. Okay, number 3 is you can start printing more money. I don't think they're going to turn the printing machine back on. If they do, it's going to ruin the economy. Well, it's already ruined, okay? And last is debt restructuring. So there's 4 ways you can fix a debt bubble. So you can make an informed decision of which one. Comment down below which one you think. Do you think they're going to spend less? You think they're going to move the money from the people who have it to the people that need it? Probably not. Do you think that they're going to start turning the printing machine back on? Some of you may think that. Or do you think they're going to do debt restructuring? In my opinion, it's either debt restructuring or they're going to turn the printing machines back on. The reason why I don't think they're going to turn the printing machines back on is because here's what's happened since 1960. If you look in 1971, we detached from the gold standard. And from that point on, the printing machine has been just printing, devaluing your currency, devaluing your currency, devaluing your currency. And there's a reason why most central banks right now are stacking gold, because we're going to be going back to an asset-backed currency in a digital currency type of way to recalibrate our economy, to bring value back into our monetary system. Okay. So here is the M2 money report. This is printing. So look at 1971 we had, and then we're going to look at interest rates as well and how they correlate with the printing machine and how they correlate with the economy. So 1971, we start printing, and here we go. 2020 going to 2022, printing machine turns off and they start to come down a little bit. Okay. So they're trying to cool inflation. And what we have now is a bunch of zombie companies sitting on the stock market. Okay, now if you look at these are interest rates, so these are the Fed's funds rate. So if you look at 1980s, we had a period of high interest rates, if you guys remember that. So that was after 1971. They turned on the printing machine. They kind of lost control of the economy around 1974. We went into the petrodollar, which allowed the dollar to hold a ton of value because all oil was traded in US dollars from that point on. And so right now, as we sit in 2022, 23, holy cow, is that most countries are trying to de-dollarize. So we're in a dangerous position. America's at 124% debt to income ratio. Most countries are trying to de-dollarize. The BRICS countries are challenging America, right? Everybody's moving into gas, solar, and wind. That's a new narrative, right? Which is challenging the petrol. And so if all currency stops trading in oil, which I don't think is happening anytime soon, that could collapse the dollar, right? So if you look at interest rates around 1980, we had a period of high interest rates, and I think it was really high inflation back then as well. So it cooled down, but the printing machine was on full blast. So then we went in about 2000, and then this was the bubble right here in 2008. And we went into a period of really, really low interest rates, extremely low interest rates since 2010. But here's what's interesting. I want you guys, this is my analysis. Right here, Bitcoin was created. Okay. Right here, Bitcoin was created. They just drop interest rates to almost zero, and they turn the printing machine on right here. Print. Little tiny spike. Boom. They drop interest rates, and the printing machine gets turned on full blast. And then all of a sudden, they pump up interest rates, and now they're about to destroy the middle class. So now the middle class is completely over leveraged because they had all this low credit. And about every 50 years, they do a debt reset. Jubilee. Interesting. It's in the New Testament as well. So I'm just throwing out facts, figures, numbers, logic. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Okay. So if we look at this is a Fed's funds rate. So here we go. They're increasing rates, and they just keep smashing rates. Jerome Powell said they're going to push rates up as hard as they can in order to bring inflation down. Okay. That doesn't help you at all. Just so you know, it makes it more expensive for companies to survive. That means they're going to start laying people off. Q2, Q3, massive layoffs are going to start. And it's going to start this big economic collapse. The middle class is going to get wiped out. The middle class is going to go from the working class to the poor. And there's going to be a system where UBI is going to come in, maybe debt reset. I don't know. People talk about Nasara Jasara. I'm just showing you the numbers and what the Bible says. And I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see what happens. Okay. But I'm sure they're not going to take care of you. So you need to get your shit together. So San Francisco, Adale sees Feds raising rates above 5%. They're going to just keep raising them, guys. Look at this. The period of low inflation for such a long time. This is Fed funds rates. But there's something to this. I don't know. I'd love to hear your feedback. 2009, Bitcoin's inception. Boom. Printing machine turned on. And they just said, screw it. We're going to stack our bags. We're going to get as much cash in our pockets as possible. And we're going to invest in these speculative assets. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay. So we got short-term inflation, a New York Fed survey, short-term inflation expectations dropped to the lowest level since 2021. Well, because they're smashing interest rates through the roof. The higher they go with interest rates, it has to cool inflation. Okay. Companies, it destroys companies. Companies have to lower prices to be fair and marketable within the marketplace. But the thing is, they have to start letting people go. To lower prices with high interest rates, you have to let people go because payroll is it's a number one expense in my companies, payroll. Right. So we make $1 million in one of our companies, and we have close to $300,000 in payroll. It's the most expensive thing. And so what the first thing companies do is cut payroll. We get more effective. Okay, so you came to hear about crypto, and I want to dive into this, but this is interesting too. You're going to see a lot of this. So Metropolitan Bank heads for crypto exit. Silvergate is exiting crypto. So you're going to see, I've been telling you guys the game. All the large banks are going to take over and monopolize everything. All these small banks try to get in the game. The big banks waited till they're over leveraged. They pulled the plug on Celsius. They pulled the plug on FTX, showing the narrative that these centralized exchanges are fraudsters, blah, blah, blah. And then the big banks are going to come in and monopolize cryptocurrency. And I believe that's what this is all about. The printing machine, they pack their bags, they raise interest rates, they destroy the middle class, and then they take over. Okay, so here's this clown. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'm going to be this gentleman who, he's telling you to run for the hills, right? Get out of cryptocurrency, get out of cryptocurrency. It's like you were literally preaching Bitcoin a little bit ago. So just be careful listening to these people. It's like, do as they did. I'm going to show you at the end of this video with the World Economic Forum. Do as they do, not as they say. So this guy's just a talking.
It was kind of a bad day for the market, wasn't it? But it was an even worse day for Silvergate Capital. That's the crypto outfit that tumbled nearly 43% before losing even another 2.3% today. Now, even before that decline, this thing was already down more than 90% from its all-time highs a little over a year ago. A good example that stocks can always go lower, at least until they hit zero. Why do we care? Because Silvergate's a pivotal part of the crypto ecosystem, such as it is. And I think this story is a great example of everything that's wrong with that industry. It's good to talk about it on an up day, so you don't just feel like, oh my God, can anything go right with this group? On Wednesday night, this crypto bank made a series of horrifying disclosures, which is why it's now getting creamed. And if we don't address it tonight, I worry that the market capitalization will shrink to the point where I'm no longer allowed to talk about it on air.
Okay, so the audio is really bad, so I'm not going to bore you with that. I can't even stand listening to him. They can't even stand. So think about this, okay? The baby boomers, the middle class are sitting there watching this guy. So they're sitting there going, oh man, I thought crypto, and they're like, they take advice from these people. They're literally running from crypto right now. So yes, Silvergate got over leveraged. A lot of these companies it's not intelligent investing, guys. Okay, so if you're an intelligent investor, you're holding intrinsic value cryptocurrencies or companies for a long period of time. Okay, the public has not been taught how to be true investors. They have not been taught how to be wealthy. It's because of people like this that FUD people in and FUD people out. The way you become wealthy is you get into intrinsic value investments and you hold them long term. The longer you stay in the market, the wealthier you get. Watching this type of shit will make you very, very poor. I'm telling you. Okay, so he's out there shouting. Jim Cramer expects SEC to do a roundup of uncompliant crypto firms, urges investors to get out of crypto. I do agree with that. I think the SEC is going to come in and smash crypto exchanges. And there's going to be a big restructuring. It's going to be a monopolization of the crypto market. Okay, but hopefully the audio works on this one. Let's listen to somebody who, and we're going to watch a little bit of Kathy Woods. Let's listen to a true investor who's calm, who's articulate, who does their research, who has nailed the market so many times, who is a fundamental, true intrinsic value investor. Let's listen to Kathy Woods and what she has to say about cryptocurrency.
Okay, on to innovation, which is what ARC is all about. And we wanted to share some of the facts and figures having to do with 2022. So not even forward looking.
I love that she says facts and figures. Jim Cramer, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, guys. I'm all about light, love, and positivity, but I don't have a lot of respect for people who are just shouting information that they're told to parrot to make people scared. Jim Cramer was telling you get into Bitcoin. He was sitting there interviewing getting into Bitcoin. Like, people forget that. Like, don't forget what he told you a year and a half ago. Okay, Kathy Woods has been poised. These type of investors, poised, making financial decisions that are very calculated, that are researched. Okay, just listen to what she has to say about crypto. I agree with her 100%.
We are looking at last year, and we'll start with crypto then. We did get throughout the year incredible turmoil around Luna, Terra, Celsius, 3AC, FTX, and so forth, and a really big black eye. But if you look at what caused the black eye, it was not Bitcoin or Ethereum, those blockchains didn't skip a beat, didn't miss one transaction. And what we saw were the centralized entities touching crypto, FTX, 3AC, Celsius, other hedge funds, imploding. Why? They're centralized, not transparent, and there's no liquidity in them. Whereas if you look at what happened on Ethereum, the smart contracts, as trouble was looming, smart contract related margin calls, they were satisfied. Boom, boom, boom. No questions asked, no legal haggles. It just worked. And I think that will be the lesson coming out of this. And it is very interesting to note that Sam Bankman-Fried didn't like Bitcoin. And he didn't like it. I may have said this last month. He didn't like it because it's decentralized, fully transparent, and he couldn't control it. He considered himself the master of the crypto universe, which, of course, the market has disabused him and others of.
Okay. So very, very important to dissect what you just said. Bitcoin and Ethereum did not skip a beat. Okay. Now, we're not talking about market value. We're talking about true intrinsic value of what those currencies do, right? Ethereum is deep in the banking system. Ethereum's going to be here. Bitcoin's going to be a commodity. Okay. We'll figure out what's going to happen with Xrparmy and Ripple with the case. That's here to bring in the new Howey test, right? So Bitcoin's going to be here. Coinbase is part of the banking system. You got Binance. I think they're going to survive. I think Coinbase, Binance is going to survive. You're going to have Bitcoin's going to be a commodity. Ethereum's going to be part of the ecosystem in the banking system. You got the ISO 2002 tokens, 2022 tokens. But listen to what she's saying. FTX, Celsius, all these people who created their own, basically they created their own ecosystem, right? They created their FTT token, right? They're creating their own financial systems. They leveraged people. This happens. Okay, you have to read Ray Dalio's books. Okay, this always happens. Bust and boom cycles in credit cycles. New innovation comes in. New people like Sam Bankman-Fried come in. They get a bunch of investors' money because it's hot. Money's being printed like crazy. Okay, so there's a bunch of VC capital, venture capitalist funds coming into it, right? Everybody gets super fucking greedy, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's over leveraged. It happens over and over again. That's why you can't get involved in the bullshit. You can't listen to people like Jim Cramer. You have to understand how true intrinsic value investing works. You look at the companies, you look at the leadership teams. That's why I'm so bullish on Ripple. It's a real world company. Okay. It's real CEOs. They don't pay influencers to pump it. They don't need freaking, Mr. Wonderful to go out there and promote the token. They don't need that stuff, guys. Okay, now I want to remind you and take you back to the World Economic Forum and what they said. They've said something we've been saying for 2 years on this channel. Watch what the big banks and mature financial institutions do, firms do, not what they say. I want to leave you with that and remind you. Watch what the big banks and mature financial services firms do, not what they say. What they're doing right now is they are putting in blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, on-demand liquidity, R3, Ripple, Onyx is with Chase. They created their own cryptocurrency blockchain system. It's already happening. The switch has already been done. Okay. So what you're going to see is a climate change narrative going into this year. You're going to see a lot of darkness. You're going to see a lot of middle class get pushed down to the working poor. It is not your responsibility to change other lives. It's your responsibility to work harder on yourself than you do anything else. I highly recommend you get into the Warrior Academy, surround yourself with like-minded individuals so we can rise together. 7 days free right now. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll be here every day presenting this information to you guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm just documenting my journey into the quantum financial system. I love you. I appreciate you. We'll see you on the other side. Warriors, rise. Get your shit together. Let's go.